April 1945, Easter Sunday. The largest amphibious assault in Pacific history begins as 180,000 American soldiers stormed the beaches of Okinawa, expecting hell, but find eerie silence instead. What follows are 82 days of unimaginable horror where generals make fatal mistakes, kamikaze pilots crash into warships, and an entire island becomes a graveyard that will ultimately change the course of World War II and lead to a decision that ends the war in the most devastating way imaginable. Before we dive in, what time are you listening? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this. The sun rises over the East China Sea on April 1st, 1945. 1,300 American and British warships slice through the water, moving toward a small island called Okinawa. 12 aircraft carriers, 7 battleships. The ocean itself seems to tremble under the weight of this armada. On the decks, 180,000 soldiers prepare for what they believe will be the bloodiest landing of their lives. They have fought island after island across the Pacific, Iwo Jima, Saipan. The Philippines, each battle more brutal than the last, each beach stained with more blood. They know what awaits them. They have seen their friends die in the surf, cut down by machine gun fire before they even reach the sand. They have heard the stories. They have written letters home that might be their last. But Okinawa is different. Okinawa is special. It sits just 700 kilometers from mainland Japan. Taking this island means they can finally strike at the heart of the empire. It means airfields within bombing range of Tokyo. It means the war might finally end. But first, they must take the island. And everyone knows the Japanese will defend it with everything they have. At 8:30 in the morning, the first soldiers jump from their landing craft and wade through the shallow water. They crouch low, weapons ready, eyes scanning the tree line ahead. They expect bullets. They expect mortars. They expect to see their brothers fall beside them. But nothing comes. The beach is silent. No machine gun fire rips through the air. No artillery shells explode in the sand. The soldiers look at each other in confusion. They move inland, still crouched, still waiting for the hell to begin. But it does not come. They walk upright. They secure the beach. They push forward and capture 2 airfields without firing a shot. By the end of the day, they control a massive area stretching 14 kilometers. Only 28 Americans have died. It feels like a miracle. It feels too easy. The soldiers joke that it is like a picnic. Some smile for the first time in months. But the officers know better. General Simon Bolivar Buckner stands on the beach and stares inland toward the mountains. He knows the Japanese are out there. He knows they are waiting. He just does not know why they let his army land without a fight. The answer lies in the hills of southern Okinawa. General Matsuru Ashijima commands 120,000 Japanese soldiers, and he has no intention of dying on the beach. He has studied the American tactics. He knows their battleships will pound the coastline into dust. He knows their planes will drop fire from the sky. So he has pulled his entire army back into the mountains. His men have spent 6 months digging tunnels into the hills. They have carved out rooms deep in the rock where shells cannot reach them. They have stockpiled ammunition and food for a siege. They have prepared defensive lines across the ridges and valleys. And they have orders to hold as long as possible, not to win. Winning is impossible now, but to delay. To make the Americans pay for every meter of ground. To kill so many soldiers that America will think twice before invading mainland Japan. Ushijima knows his men will die. He knows he will die. But he will make sure the Americans remember Okinawa forever. While the soldiers push inland, a new terror emerges from the sky. Kamikaze pilots, young Japanese men, barely trained, climb into planes loaded with explosives. They have enough fuel for a one-way trip. They do not plan to land. They plan to crash into American ships and take as many sailors with them as they can. The naval officers watch their radar screens and see the dots approaching. They know what is coming. The kamikazes dive through anti-aircraft fire. Some are shot down, but others break through. They slam into destroyers and aircraft carriers. The USS Franklin nearly sinks. 800 men killed in minutes. Fires rage across the deck. Bodies are thrown into the sea. The kamikazes keep coming. Wave after wave. Day after day. They sink 30 destroyers. They kill 5,000 sailors and wound 5,000 more. It becomes the costliest naval battle in American history. And still, they come. The Japanese High Command decides to send one final blow to the American fleet. They order the Yamato, the largest battleship in the world, to sail to Okinawa. It is a beautiful ship, 863 feet long, 69,000 tons of steel. 9 massive guns that can fire shells the size of cars. It is the pride of Japan, but it has barely enough fuel for a one-way trip. The plan is simple and suicidal. Ram the ship onto the beaches of Okinawa. Point the guns toward the sea. Shell the American fleet until the ammunition runs out. Then die. The Yamato leaves port with a small escort of destroyers. But American submarines spot it immediately. Admiral Remus Buruins does not want a battleship fight. He does not want to risk his own ships. So he sends 386 fighter planes from his aircraft carriers. They swarm the Yamato like angry wasps. Bombs and torpedoes slam into the giant ship. The crew fights back, but they have no air cover. The Yamato lists to one side. Water pours through holes in the hull. Then the ammunition magazine explodes. The ship breaks apart and sinks. All 3,000 men on board die. The largest battleship in the world never fires a single shot at the enemy. It is Sawaste, a sacrifice for nothing. And Japan has lost the jewel of its navy. Back on Okinawa, American soldiers pushed north and secured the upper half of the island with little resistance. But in the south, they hit a wall. The Shuri Line, a series of fortified hills where the Japanese have dug in deep. Kakazo Ridge, Sugarloaf Hill. Every hill has a name. Every name will be written in blood. The Americans attack. Artillery pounds the hills for hours. Planes drop napalm. Tanks roll forward. Then the infantry climbs. They scramble up muddy slopes under fire from hidden machine gun nests. They reach the top and find tunnels. Japanese soldiers pour out of the earth and attack. Hand-to-hand fighting. Grenades, flamethrowers. The Americans take a hill. Then the Japanese counterattack at night and take it back. The battle repeats. Day after day. The same hills change hands, over and over. Men die for 100 meters of ground. It takes 2 weeks to capture Kakazu Ridge, just 100 meters long. The casualties are horrific. This is not island hopping anymore. This is World War I. This is trench warfare. This is grinding, brutal, exhausting combat where every meter costs lives. General Isamu Cho, Ushigima's chief of staff, grows frustrated with the defensive strategy. He wants to attack. He convinces Ushijima to launch a counter-offensive. On May 4, 3,000 Japanese soldiers pour out of their tunnels and charge the American lines. Tanks roll forward. Artillery fires. For a moment, it looks like the Japanese might break through. But they have given up their greatest advantage. They are no longer hidden in the hills. They are out in the open. American artillery tears them apart. Machine guns cut them down. The tanks are destroyed. The amphibious assault on the coast is annihilated before it even lands. It is a disaster. Thousands of Japanese soldiers die for nothing. The Americans barely lose any ground. Ushijima realizes his mistake. He will never leave the tunnels again, but the damage is done. His army is weaker now. The Americans push forward. The rain comes in mid-May. Not a gentle rain, a monsoon. Water pours from the sky for days. The ground turns to soup. Mud everywhere. Thick, sucking mud that swallows boots and wheels. Tanks cannot move. Trucks get stuck. Supplies must be carried by hand. Wounded men drown in shell craters filled with water. The soldiers are cold, wet, and miserable. But they keep fighting. They push toward Shuri Castle, the Japanese headquarters. They surround it from 3 sides, but the rain slows everything. Both armies are paralyzed by the mud. Then, during a brief clearing, American planes spot movement. The Japanese are retreating. Ushijima has ordered his army to fall back to the southern tip of the island. The Americans storm Shuri Castle on May 29th and find it empty. They raise the flag, but the battle is not over. General Buckner writes a letter to General Ushijima. He offers him a chance to surrender. He promises fair treatment. He says there is no reason to keep fighting, but Ushijima does not respond. He never planned to surrender. His mission was never to win, only to delay. Only to kill as many Americans as possible. So, the battle continues. The Japanese retreat into the caves of the southern cliffs. The Americans chase them, village by village, cave by cave. The island is destroyed. 90% of the buildings are rubble. The farms are craters. The trees are stumps. And the civilians are caught in the middle. The Japanese army had spent months telling the people of Okinawa that the Americans were monsters, that they would torture and kill anyone they captured. That death was better than surrender. So when the American soldiers arrive, the civilians panic. Some run, some hide, and some, tragically, kill themselves and their families rather than be taken prisoner. Mothers throw their children off cliffs. Fathers strangled their wives. The Japanese soldiers force civilians out of caves so they can use them for defense. They steal food from starving families. They kill anyone who refuses to fight. The people of Okinawa are betrayed by their own military. Over 150,000 civilians die during the battle. More than the soldiers. On June 18th, General Buckner visits the front lines to observe his troops. He stands on a hill watching the battle. Then a Japanese artillery shell explodes nearby. Shrapnel tears through his body. He dies minutes later. He is the highest-ranking American officer killed in combat during World War II. 3 days later, American soldiers find General Ushijima in a cave on Mabuni Hill. But he is already dead. He has committed ritual suicide. He cut open his own belly and ordered one of his men to cut off his head. He chose death over surrender. The two generals who led the Battle of Okinawa are both dead. And finally, after 82 days, the fighting stops. On June 22, 1945, the Battle of Okinawa officially ends. The Americans have won. They control the island. They have airfields within striking distance of Japan. They can begin planning the invasion of the mainland. But the victory feels hollow. 12,500 American soldiers are dead. 35,000 are wounded. The Japanese have lost over 100,000 soldiers, and 150,000 civilians have died. The island is a wasteland, and the American generals look at the casualty lists and realize something terrible. If Okinawa costs this many lives, how many will die when they invade Japan? The estimates are staggering. Perhaps 1 million American casualties, perhaps millions of Japanese deaths. The fighting on Okinawa has shown them that Japan will never surrender, that every man, woman, and child will fight to the death. And the American public is tired. They are tired of the telegrams, tired of the funerals, tired of the war. Something has to change. 45 days after Okinawa falls, President Harry Truman makes a decision. He authorizes the use of a new weapon. Onagus 6. A single plane drops a single bomb on the city of Hiroshima. The bomb explodes with the power of 15,000 tons of dynamite. The city disappears in a flash of light. 80,000 people die instantly. 3 days later, another bomb falls on Nagasaki. 40,000 more die. Japan surrenders on August 15th. The war is over, and the Battle of Okinawa, the bloodiest battle of the Pacific War, becomes the last battle of World War II. The lessons learned in those 82 days of hell convinced the American leadership that invasion was impossible, that only the atomic bomb could end the war without killing millions more. Okinawa was a turning point, the place where the future of warfare changed forever. Today, Okinawa has been rebuilt. The people have moved on. But the scars remain. American military bases still cover the island. 70% of all US bases in Japan are on Okinawa, even though the island is less than 1% of Japan's land. The people feel like they are still occupied, still paying the price for a battle they did not start. The caves are still there, the tunnels are still there, and the memories are still there, passed down through generations. The Battle of Okinawa will never truly end for the people who live there. They carry it with them, a reminder that war does not just destroy buildings and armies, it destroys everything. Everyone. Forever. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Retriclad can make mistakes. Please double check responses.